What do we got from Tom today? The translation is you have a right to perform your prescribed duty. We were just talking about this yesterday. Um, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 47. Mustafa says, Tom, so beautiful to see you here first. Mustafa sends love. Sorry, talking to my cat. What do you guys think of my little dog visitor today? That was Misty the Pomsky. Pomsky is a combination of a Pomeranian and a Husky. Mustafa says, every day I wake to know that today will be even better than yesterday, so I wake happy, full of energy, positivity, and an indescribable feeling of well-being. Every day is a gift to me. Awesome. Awesome. I just sent you an email or a message, Mustafa, on I guess it's going to come up either next Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Don't know which yet. Tom says Lady Sky is late. Hey, Abigail, my friend, how are you? Tom says, hey to Abby. And awesome. I'm glad that you're doing awesome. Abigail says, I'm here. I'm glad you're here, Abigail. So this is, I just sent it to you now, Mustafa. This is our guest, hopefully. Well, definitely a guest, but I don't know what day. Hey, Pam. Hakim Hamza. He talks quite a bit on, talks quite a bit in stillness. The changing power of stillness, of embracing stillness, allowing ourselves to be embraced by stillness. We really cannot embrace stillness ourselves. We can only allow it to embrace us as it's ever present. And any action that we take to grasp it negates the quality of stillness that we're actually hoping to achieve, right? Pam, how are you? Abby's doing awesome. Mustafa said I read about that a little while ago. What I love about Hakim, 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 actually don't know. Like Noah Fabigan, awesome. Hey, Kat, is that he's a longtime student of A Course in Miracles. He's Swedish, a Swedish-based longtime student of A Course in Miracles, and Kenneth Wapnick. So you know he's going to be right up my alley. Anytime I get to talk to someone who is a fan of Kenneth Wapnick, count me in. So yep, next week. So we have a couple guests lined up with more people I've reached out to. I had let reaching out to people slide a little bit as I was making more content, and I had, I have enough content to last me for a bit. But the lifeblood of what I'm doing is two things: going live with guests, going live with you guys, and just hanging out, laughing, and having fun. Francis, how are you, my friend? So we will. Hey, Sue, Bud Files, how are you? We will open the floor up if anyone does want to sing a song or two. Mustafa says, Cat and Jack, so much happy to see you here. How you doing today, Cat? Cat says hi to Sue. Hey guys, our friend Zed is live right now. If anyone wants to pop in and say hi. Our friend Swicky's Farm Outdoors. I like Swicky's stuff a lot. And Maddie's live. I did not know that Maddie was live. I need to pop in and say hi to him. We'll do that right now. Everyone's saying hi. Appreciate that, guys. Hey, Lady Sky. Sorry, guys. Just typing a little note to Maddie. If you get a chance, go on in and say hi. I'll still be here. You would not hurt my feelings at all. This guy says hi to everyone. How can I find the channel for Maddie? That's a good question. Pam says doing fine, mighty fine. The perfect spring day here in the Rocky Mountains. Nice. Lady Sky is eating dinner out with my mom. Where'd you go, Lady Sky? Hey, I'm gonna. I can't post links in the chat because it just leads you back to me. However, I can message it to you. If you go in and say hi to Maddie, tell him I said hi. Um, I'm just looking to see who else might be live. Our friend, our good friend Flora, she's live too. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. She drops Maddie's link. Hey, Jamie. What's new with you, my friend? Sorry I haven't been able to say hi when you come in. Uh, as the last few times we've had guests when you've come in. So I apologize. Not being rude, my friend. I would like to know how your training's going and what you're shooting for nowadays. You still thinking about those high rep jump squats? I see Mustafa popped in over at Maddie's. Nice. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Mustafa. Make sure you hit the like button over there. Francis says, I'm more of a writer, studied philosophy in college. If you don't mind. I don't mind. What language is that, Mustafa? Jamie says, I've been focused on fixing my deadlift form lately. Hey, look up Pavel. He's got a long last name. He's mostly known for kettlebell stuff. He's also trained a lot of powerlifters. Satsulin, I believe is his last name, begins with a P. Don't worry about it. Just Pavel, Pavel, and look up deadlift form. And he gives you a perfect description of how to do a deadlift. Someone says, hi, bald head, did you miss me? I did miss you. Quite a bit, my friend. Everyone else always focuses on other body parts. They come in, they call me Mr. Mustache, Mr. Beard, Mr. Ears, Mr. Elbows. They call me the nose guy. Some people talk about the back of my head. Every so often, the conversation goes down to my knees and my ankles. For some reason, people get a fixation on my left big toe. Don't know why. It's not even my good toe. The good toe is on the right foot. It's the one that went all the way home. However, you, my friend, you come in and you focus right on the important thing. You get right to the point. You hold nothing back. And I appreciate that about you. Pam says, even though they weren't mandatory, loved philosophy classes. Hey, Sniper. Jamie says, Squat University does good videos at it. Tom says, hey, here, Jess. See what I mean? You're the only one that really seems to care, William. Hey, what's it? I saw you live. I went over to visit, and it said that you were just ended. It said video not available. I apologize. I didn't get there sooner. Jimmy says I started doing the pulls with stock out of the barbecue. Nice. And I heard you mention, and it was perfect what you said. We think of the deadlift as a pull, right? It's really a push. You got to picture pushing the ground away from you. Francis says philosophy means love of knowledge. Tom says, what's that? Yogi is slow. It's all good. I am slow. Stephen says, greetings, Willie. You guys remember the song? I don't remember who sang it. Little Willie won't go home. Little Willie. Our good friend, Little Willie. Jimmy says, yes, think of it like a leg press after you pull the sock out of the bar. Absolutely. Which is why you can't, you don't want to look away. Keep your head straight. When if you dial in the form, no distractions whatsoever. Zebra says, free Willie. Absolutely. All pent up, emotionally repressed. Let it all out, Willie. It's okay. Homeland says, reply to me, Dr. Freddy. Reply to you, Dr. Freddy, or call you, Dr. Freddy? Tom says, sweet. Sweet, Little Willie. Yes. You remember that song, Tom? Tom, how do you remember that song? Homeland says, what's your relation with Bill Gates? Bill Gates, sir? We used to shop at Radio Shack together in the early 1970s. And we bought those little electronic kits. And I always made a little transistor radio. And he made this intricate home computer. And I was like, that makes no sense. No one's ever heard of a computer. And he's like, trust me, it will catch on. I was like, I don't believe it. And he's like, yeah, it will. And I was like, nah, nah. And it went back and forth like that for like days on end. Eventually, he got so offended that I did not believe in his vision. And I got so offended that he disliked my little transistor radio that I built that we just ended our friendship. I believe that was in 1971. And then it says, I know you are Dr. Freddie DeCosta from Georgia. Man, my secret's out. Someone was bound to catch on sooner or later. I suspected that it might be you all along, Homelander. Jamie says he used to yank the bar off the floor, plus sacking the upper body. Yes. That's it. As soon as you think of it as a pull, that's what's going to happen. And you're going to try to do it quick instead of grinding it. This little task shack here in Floysville. Nice. That's what Pam says too. Nice. Says, keep your pants on, Superman. Oh, Tatavan, my friend, how are you? Dude, I have been heavy into the Sufi stuff. My God is beautiful. They go deep. They do go deep. They use the body to transcend the body. Beautiful, beautiful practice. What have you been doing? Have you been doing whirling? Man, the Sufi, the love is so deep. Everything's the beloved. Seeing the beloved everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Love Sufism, my friend. Sorry I missed your comment when you came in. Pam says, oh, a Pomeranian and Husky mix. That's way cool. It was awesome. It says, you're a bald and a light bald, guys. You must be in the next Breaking Bad spinoff show. Didn't everyone die in the Breaking Bad? Who would they spin it off on? And do they really need another bald guy in that? How about if it was just like something totally different for a bald guy to do? Hey, Sherry. Sherry says, absolutely. Superman pants are mandatory. Pants are mandatory unless you're sitting at a desk looking at a camera and no one knows what's going on. From the nipples down, guys, no one knows. Tom says Yogi can't be Breaking Bad until his contract is up with Mr. Clean. Well, then I'd have to end my movie cover band gig that I've been working on. So that wouldn't work. Here's the funny thing. I'm starting a movie cover band, but all we're going to do is sing REM songs. We're going to sing Michael Stipes. Pat says, I couldn't wait to tell you. I'm glad you did. No, just reading the text. Who are you? Are you reading any teachers? I got some book recommendations here in the back. Lee Vaughn. I can't remember his name. Let's see if I can look it up. And I got several books right in the back. I just don't want to get up. Because I told you I'm not wearing any pants. Homelander says, Jesse Pinkman's Aftermath story will be coming up, and you are Freddie DaCosta in the show. Gotcha. I've never watched an episode of Breaking Bad. Not a whole one. I started it, had no interest. I like redemption stories. I don't like people who seemingly start good and then just get bad. Give me the opposite every time. See if I can find those books. Have you been reading any of the Sufi poetry? Hafiz, Rumi? Hey, we could read some Rumi tonight if you would like. I tried to get Neil Douglas Klotz to come up. He wrote a little book called The Sufi Book of Life. Uh, I got a couple of his books here too. I was very, very taken with Sufism for quite some time in the late 90s and the early 2000s, the aughts, as we call them, as us old guys call it. All right. Von Lee. Lilwyn, I believe. How do you pronounce this? Lewellyn. Von Han Lee. Lots of really good books on Sufism. Hey Lee, Sib, how are you? That says a Moby cover band. Sherry says, OG Basugi, please, please have pants on. I do. I have pants on. Sniper says, sing it backwards to avoid copyright strikes. Smart thinking. Smart thinking. Season 4 has a redemption arc. Does it stick though? How many seasons did it have? He says, Yogi, can you describe the feeling you felt on completion of one of your endurance races? It's a good question. If you were to ask the people who were there, they were like, he was pretty nonchalant about it. It's like getting off work. I shook the race director's hand. I got my buckle and went home. Ate a lot of pancakes and slept a lot. I have read the Essentials of Mysticism. Well, maybe we're talking about the right one. Uh, what's his name? Give me a second. Season 5. So did it have a happy ending? Thanks for coming in, Walid, my friend. Tavam says, I cannot pronounce Susi names any more than I can pronounce anything in Sanskrit. This guy I've been reading, the way he speaks is like he's speaking directly from source. Tom says, pancakes. You can't go wrong with pancakes. Tom misses pancakes. Hey, drive on up to Maryland. We'll go out for pancakes. Stop by Tennessee, pick up Kat and Jack, and then come on up, and we'll eat some pancakes together. When you say pants, or what do you say in England? Trousers? I'm familiar with it, Jamie. I have not studied it. Oh well, Sniper has an app that reads runes and hieroglyphics. Pancakes. Pancakes. Andrew Harvey. The Essential Mystics, selections from the world's greatest religions. I have it in the next room. And I got a couple of Andrew Harvey's books that I enjoy quite a bit. I'm definitely open to recommendations. Hey, I'll see if I can get some. I'll reach back out to Neil and see if I can get it come up. I'm trying to think of what other Sufi friends I have who might want to come up and give us a talk. It's a deep, deep path of devotion. Isn't it amazing that in every There's a thread of mysticism, of pure devotion in every major religion. Hey, Charles. Charles says, always and forever in service. That's the plan, my friend. That's the plan. Namaste. Pam says, pancakes, aka flour, lard, and sugar. Yes, we miss them. I skipped the lard just as a vegan. They don't make vegan lard. They don't make vegan lard like my mom used to make vegan lard, man. I wish I had that recipe. Hey, Megiza. How are you, my friend? Sip said to Charlie, Charles, I hope things improve in your long distance relationship. Lady Sky says, hi to Tom. Lady Sky, did you tell us what restaurant you went to? Having Chinese food. Megiza says, oh, good. Thank you. Just got back from a meeting. Awesome. And you know what, Megiza, you come to mind fairly often. And every time you do, I just get filled with so much joy. The path that you're on, the things that are going to be happening to you, none of which would have been had you stayed in the path that you were on. Sherry says, pants, squirrel, chipmunk pants, waist to ankles. Charles says, no, Seb, actually, she still love my crush ignoring me. No progress. I'm just sinking deep in disappointment. In pain. I'm sorry, I'm a friend. Trousers. So they're called trousers. Dungarees. This guy says, wish I could show you this buffet, Yogi, but I would make everyone hungry, though. Not me. I have no appetite for Chinese food. I got food poisoning, Chinese food. And a girl I hoped was going to be my girlfriend. And I got sick in her front lawn. All over the place. She ended up not being my girlfriend. However, we are still good friends. Her mom was so funny because I was getting sick and I felt bad. Her mom came out to see if it was okay, and I apologized and told her I would clean it up. And her mom thought that was the most hilarious thing in the world. Joe says, "Ate Manchurian. You know Manchurian rice? I do know." Flashback to 1987 dungarees. Bugle Boys. Sherry says dungarees. Absolutely. You have to be of a certain age to know the word dungaree or trousers. People don't say trousers anymore, do they? Here's something. Britches. Britches. Joe says we share the same pain, Yogi, sir. It gets better, Charles. It gets better. I can promise you that. It gets better. Well, it says, how did he find peace? I relaxed. I stopped looking for it. Realizing it was here, it was present all the time. I never had to look for it. That peace is the will of God and that I share the will of God. That at any time, anything that upsets me, I can realize that that is not the will of God. The will of God is absolute peace. And I share that will. Therefore, what I'm experiencing is not my will or the will of God. And it means I can choose. I can choose once again. I can choose not to experience peace because peace is ever present. I can choose to let go of the experience of something that is not peace. So it's a process. I'm not always at peace, but I'm always able to return to peace. And I can do it now quicker than I used to before. McGeezer says, halfway through the steps, I started to look inside. I found that awakening within. You know, I had Paul Hederman up maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and he talked about the 12 steps being an awakening experience. If you're not experiencing an epiphany when you're doing the 12 steps, you're not doing them correctly. The steps call for a complete surrender. You are literally transcending the ego. When you're making a list of your wrongdoings, and when you have been a drunk, as I have, it's a pretty long list. It's a humbling experience. And that's the type of humbling that we need in order to realize, you know what? Who I am is not the one who did all of that. Who I am is that awakening that our friend McGeezer was talking about. So yeah, unless you come to that epiphany, grace. Sobriety is grace. Pantaloons to some. Pantaloons. Bridges usually have drawers underneath. Do they? Bridges, oh no, amazing. Me too. Tom says my spidey tingle never lies. What are we tingling about? Hey Red Bull, how are you, my friend? Princess. Oh, McGeezer says, what's your opinion on the spiritual awakening to begin with? I thought with finishing the steps, God himself would come down and tell me I'm fixed, but I started looking inside for that awakening. You did it absolutely right. When I finished Course in Miracles, when I finally made it through the workbook and I tell this story to guests, and they always laugh. Hey plushie, I literally dusted my hands off. I did it 1 year, 365 lessons of A Course in Miracles, the advent of a great awakening. All right, I'm awakened. I still feel the same. I still got a lot of resentments. I still got a lot of grievances. Funny that. So I dove back in a couple of times and I'm like, I guess I'm not getting this, right? But it's a process. Awakening is every single moment. You're not awake. Just another thing Paul Hederman said. You're verbing your way through life. You're a verb. You're not a noun. You're not fixated in a singular position within the infinite. You're not this, even as a spiritual being, you're not this one little piece of the infinite. You are the infinite, infiniting your way through infinity itself. So yes, turning within. That's when it all starts. The reason why Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. And what did we do collectively when we heard that statement? What does everyone do? The kingdom of heaven within, and we go, oh man, I got to find it. I got to search for it. Pantaloons, snipers, yikes. That's a big yikes. Sniper says, I have uncovered the 12-second breathing. Francis says, mercy is the secret to the heart, the deepest well. Beautifully said. Perhaps it's true, we are asleep at the wheel. Sniper says, pantaloons primarily emerged as a dominant fashion staple for men during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, specifically gaining prominence around the 1790s through the Regency era. I say it's time we brought them back in this style. From now on, This is Just a Yogi wearing pantaloons in his office. That's going to be the name of my channel. And I'm going to show up every day wearing pantaloons. I'm going to do my yoga in pantaloons. I'm going to invite Dr. Tom to come up and chant in his pantaloons. Who else is invited up here? I'm Lada, my friend. How are you? That's it. From now on, that's all we're going to talk about. Sniper, you opened up the door. And you opened up the closet door, and it was filled with pantaloons. He says, what if the expression ants in your pantaloons was coined back then? Ants in your pantaloons. Sniper says, I know water always finds its level. Francis says, our souls are beautiful, the kingdom within. Amen. Amen, Francis. Tom says, I'm going to wrestle in pantaloons. Tom, I will pay you I would pay $100 to watch you wrestle in pantaloons. If I had $100 left to my name and I was heading to the store to buy essentials, rice, oatmeal, lentils, apples, bananas. And someone said, hey, do you know, we see you got $100 bill there. We'll sell you a ticket to a wrestling match. Dr. Tom is wrestling. And I'd be like, who's he wrestling? Is he wrestling? Man, I can't think of any wrestlers anymore. Everyone that I was about to think of, they're actually gone. Anyway, he's going to wrestle someone famous. And the guy's like, nope. But he's going to wrestle in pantaloons. I'd be like, here it is, $100. I'm in. Jerry says, Tom, make sure it's live. Sepa says to Walid, as above, so below. Firm, stationary, and enclosed. Oh, it says to you the earth is flat. I don't believe the earth is flat. But I also don't 100% believe the world or the earth. Hey, Evan says, Eric, do you ever feel isolated? It's a good question. I answer honestly, and at times I do. I gotta go get my water, guys, to take my supplement. I forgot to bring it in. Tatavam says, talking about paths, I was suffering and said out loud, I want the truth. Literally 3 days later, someone gave me a bag of mushrooms. They showed me the truth that I learned about through Hinduism. Nice. You've alluded to that before. Hey, Marlon. Thank you, Marlon. Says, be careful, man. Egypt might send the national security forces trying to reclaim the Great Pyramids from between your shoulders. That would be the traps. My favorite muscle group. Traps and my left tricep. Not the right one, just the left one. Sherry says, Tom is wrestling in pantaloons. It's my dream come true. I gotta say, Cherry, mine too. Mine too. Do I ever feel isolated? Do I ever feel anxiety from trying to change being isolated? No. I do experience anxiety. I've talked about it quite a bit. My own issues with anxiety floored me. He says, quick yogi, head to the Red Sea and seek refuge. Man, I don't know. My parting days are over. I do have a staff next door, though. Dr. Baum says it's like the Tarantino movie. So that at the end, I work my way backwards. Sometimes that's how you do it. Who exactly named it Earth? I believe it was Tom O. McEarthy. He was Irish. Never mind. I was going to go off on a long story. I don't have the energy. Well, it says even the Red Sea is shallow to cover those traps, I'm afraid. Lee says, Mustafa, I've been patiently waiting for your arrival, sir. Evan says, yeah, I'm starting to feel comfortable not socializing. A bit of anxiety about feeling the path to change it. You know what? You don't have to change anything. Why do we always think we have to change what we're experiencing? What if here's the key to anxiety? Hey, sick bug, what if you didn't have to change anything? I just posted it. Well, I haven't posted it yet. I will. From a great teacher, Lisa Natoli, who was a guest. And I posted a short where she had a life-threatening illness, autoimmune disease, for years. She did everything she could to fix it, and she could not. It was only when her husband, who attended a Rupert Spira, uh, not a seminar, but a gathering, Sangha, we could say. Um, and the question was, could you accept the pain, the discomfort? Could you welcome it right now without it having to be anything different? Didn't say, could you make friends with it? Could you embrace it? Could you endure it? Could you just welcome it right now? Never thought of that. She had never thought of that. Could you welcome your anxiety right now? Better yet, let's forget the anxiety. Could you welcome the isolation right now? This is where you find yourself. Don't try to change it. Just welcome it and see what happens. What's the explanation for deja vu? I don't know as I have one, Walden. I don't know if I have an explanation for it. Evan says, I feel like I have to change it because of the use it or lose it concept, but that's a concept. I got lots of stuff that I don't use that I can go down and start using it again, and it's right there. We got kettlebells that I didn't do anything with for a number of years. I was doing the high rep burpee stuff, high rep body weight stuff, but I could still go back and use them, right? I haven't driven a car coming up on a year, but I could get in a car and drive if I needed to. Lots of stuff that you don't need to use and you won't lose it. But how about right now? This is where you find yourself. This is where you find yourself. Don't say it's okay or it's good or it's bad. It's just where you are. This is what you're doing. This is where you find yourself. And it's going to change. You know why? Everything changes. Everything changes. Cyclic says, I'll just die with my boots on and stay in touch with people I love. Cowboy boots. Tabam says, you are the meditative state and the person is what you do. I like that. Beautifully said. Pam says, like practicing acceptance. Yes. Here's the thing. You know, we say practicing acceptance. Hey, Michael. That's okay, my friend. Carving something for Eric Lapointe. Hope he didn't hear. So it is both a practice, Pam, and not a practice. It's a practice and a non-practice. Everything is already immediately accepted by virtue of it being here, except we think otherwise. That's the only difference. If I were to, God forbid, be struck by leprosy right now, guess what? It would immediately be accepted, and yet my mind and my body would immediately rebel from the thought that I have leprosy. but the leprosy itself would be immediately accepted. In the absence of that thought, in the absence of the thought of, oh my God, this can't be happening. Do people still get leprosy nowadays? They do. Um, in the absence of all of those thoughts, what would be in place? Pure, unconditional acceptance, because it's here. Can we accept what's here? We don't have a choice, but we can fill that moment, the one and only precious present moment, with all kinds of angst, all kinds of anxiety, all kinds of discomfort, all kinds of rebellion, all kinds of I need to fix it, I need to get rid of it, I need to do this and this and this and this. But all of that keeps us in that state of anxiety and angst and discomfort. Let me get some water, guys. Take my supplement. I take one milligram of melatonin before sleep. 1 second. Michael Barkeen, you still here? Evan says, what if you get bored? Can you accept being bored? What if you accepted being bored? Where would you be? Do we need to be doing something all the time? If you were fine being exactly as you are when you are, would boredom even exist without the thought of I'm bored? Without the thought of I need to do something? The thought of I need to do something is a thought that produces anxiety. Amelie. All right, Michael, I'm going to get some water. You're in charge. I had to wait for the right person. I'm on my way to do it now, Tiger King. I forgot to get my water. All right, 1 second. I'm back. Sorry, guys. Evan says, Eric has told anyone you, has anyone told you that I'm stubborn? Mm, it's been said before. It's been a long time since anyone said that I'm stubborn, though. Hey, what do you want? Talking to my cat. She was talking to me first, though. So I don't think anyone would call me stubborn any longer. Well, probably someone would, but I don't think it's as applicable as it was. I am very much set in um, what I present for a reason because it's literally saved my life. Michael says, they were good, Yogi. Did anyone try to touch my books? I try to get them to spam Namaste, but they wouldn't. Tiger King says, Sub says he sent to Eric, but haven't. Does why will you say he didn't? Well, he did send it to me on WhatsApp. Hey, Phil. Phil says, hi, all. I have only just found out I have the Wi Fi here where I live doesn't show live streams. Hope everyone is doing well. We are, my friend. How are you? Why can't it read out then? On what app? Uh, because I have what app on my phone, and my phone is engaged in live streaming. So I'd have to end the live stream in order to read it, and then you wouldn't be able to hear it. Well, it says why we humans are arrogant and we can't be honest with ourselves 100% because we're human, because we believe we're human, because we believe we are only human. Humans, whatever it is that humans do, is what humans do. Um, Meaning good, bad, indifferent, bored, stubborn, uh, irritating, obnoxious, angry, human stuff. Which philosopher was it who said, nothing human is foreign to me? So humans do human stuff. That's the bad news. You ready for the good news? Let me know. Let me know in the live stream if you're ready for the good news. Here's a link to Michael's live stream for tomorrow night. Thank you, Michael. Mustafa says we need a comfortable bed and a cool room to chat your live stream. Thank you, Mustafa. Phil says doing okay. Hey, chat. Hope all is well. All is well. Been hitting the meetings, Phil. Michael, thank you again, guys. Make sure that you visit Michael on his live stream tomorrow night. Has anyone ever called you stubborn when you use your yoga talk to get your way? Yes. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Sniper says, Sniper says, Seb, I have Monday off. I will sleep all day. Are you going to sleep all day or are you going to do extra work all day, Sniper? Michael says, oops, apologies for the typos, dank phone. That's okay, Michael. Michael says, most of the day, mate. Well, Lid says, it's really weird that we know that, but we can't do anything about it. That's because it's the human trying to fix a human. You can't. It can't be done. Yeah, you can design a better human to an extent. Give you a little more psychologically sound, a little more emotionally fit, a little more physically resilient, right? But ultimately, the body breaks down. our emotions run awry, and psychologically, more issues turn up, right? But no one's asked about the good news yet. Oh, Pam did. What's the good news? You're not human. You are not human. You're spirit. You don't need to fix the humanness. It hurt. Doesn't hurt to go to therapy. Get a little help. It reminds me of the story of Suzuki Roshi, great Zen master in the 1950s. Visited, I think it was the University of Minnesota. I could be wrong. Um, to talk to a group of psychotherapist students. They were grad students on the verge of heading out in the professional world, very, very high on their own self importance. And what could a Zen master, Zen was still pretty new to the United States in the 1950s, what could a Zen master say to them of any importance? Zen. What does he know of the great studies of Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud and Carl Rogers? And he came in and he looked around the room and he looked at the students in the eyes and he said, each and every one of you is perfect exactly as you are. And they gave these very self-indulgent smiles. That's what they expected a Zen master to say, something kind of zen and fruity, right? You're perfect. Everything is fine. Daisies and butterflies and rainbows. And then he looked at them and he smiled and he said, and you could all use a little bit of work. And that made him genuinely smile because he was speaking their language. Buddhist psychology says start with your inherent self, start with your own inherent perfection. Who you are is absolute pure isness in Buddhist terms, suchness. In Hindu yogic terms, Atman, soul, spirit. In Course in Miracles, you are an idea in the mind of God. It all boils down to the exact same thing, essence, mind, Brahma. That's who you are. Having a human experience. But it's just an experience. It's not who you are. So you have some ups, some downs, you have some anger, you have some boredom, you have some irritation, you have some sickness, and you have some good health. That's not who you are. You are the pure, unconditional awareness that is aware of all of it. Am I going to read comments? I just read your comment, Tiger King. Right now I can't save money, Tiger King. Well, I can't save money. I could try, right? But I have an outstanding debt, taxes, that have taken precedent, and my cats are doing okay. Manifestor says, Eric, I've been in a bad place, had 3 teeth removed last week. I remember I spent the rest of the week in bed, and this week been pretty depressed, trying to sort out my head. Hey, Phil, reach out, even if it's just for hello, you know? You know how to reach me. Hey, Radio Master. Interaction with the public is good for upcoming YouTubers like you. Deserve growth and love from India. It's a wonderfully sweet thing for you to say, my friend. To just come in and say that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend. Tiger King says, I thought the good news was going to tell me that you was going to dust your bookshelves and tidy up. Read this, please. That was funny. That was funny, Tiger King. Lee says, beautiful message, Radio Master. It sure was, Lee. Manifesto says, thank you, much love. Hey, you know what? It's important to know we're not alone. Hey, Runner Boy. Do I ever get scared thinking about life? Yes, I do. Pam says, yes, Radio. Runner Boy is peeking. Tom says, I certainly do, Montgomery. Yep. Kind of hard not to. The question is, like everything else, can you live in the acceptance that You're a little bit scared about life. If I look at things from uh, the purely physical, materialistic perspective right now, I'm in a precarious position in my life. The past year, I've lost a lot. I stand to lose more. And yet, I find myself in a very weird place where all I want to do is let go of everything and trust and trust and trust, not in the material any longer, but in love, in God, in the Holy Spirit. All things in perfect order. I don't know what they are. I don't know what the perfect order is. Maybe the perfect order is losing everything. I don't know. I know God Himself, God herself, does not want me to suffer and would not take away anything that is real because it can't be taken away. Tom says, this is why we meditate and study. Yes, this is why we practice. This is why Tom chants. This is why he reads the Holy Scriptures. What was a serious question, Yogi? If we ran out of fish to eat, would we have to rename fish and chips to just chip shops? It's a good question. But let's turn that around. What if we ran out of potatoes? Would you have to call it just fish? We're going out for fish. Fish and. Fish and. And people are like, well, and what? You're like, nothing. That was my forlorn. A world without potatoes. That was that was scene one. What do you think of that, Tiger King? Montgomery says, Evan says, what if there is no God? It doesn't make a difference, does it? There's something. There isn't a God, the God that you're thinking of. The God that you don't believe in would be the same God that I don't believe in. But we can't deny awareness. We can't deny that we are aware, that all there is aware. We are aware. We are aware. Let that sink in. You're aware. It never leaves. Hey, Lofa. Lufa. I like it to be made Splinter Cell. I love that game. I don't know that game, but I wouldn't mind having a Frogger machine. Tom says that's beautiful, Yogi, inspiring, and thank you for sharing. Francis says, what are your thoughts on duality, Yogi? And you guys, no such thing as duality. However, there is the appearance of duality. But when you find yourself in the appearance of duality, act accordingly. My favorite was Tenchu. Pam says, and practice is ongoing and needs tending like a garden. Amen. Tiger King says, Runner Boy, how's your day going, mate? So I just posted I made a short from talking with Julie Day, a great course teacher, as well as a body worker. Um, Wonderful guest. I hope to have, and she's become a really good friend. I hope to have her up again soon. Should reach out to her this week. Um, and I posted a clip of we were talking about practice. We were talking about A Course in Miracles and forgiveness. We were talking about God. What if at the end of my life someone said, we have absolute proof that everything that you've believed in your entire life is wrong? We have pie charts, we have graph papers, we have a PowerPoint presentation, we have the head of a very prominent university done in-depth study in the labs, proving everything that you lived your life upon is wrong. And how do you feel about that? and I would smile. I would absolutely smile. I don't do this because I think it's real. I don't do this according to belief. I do this because I feel better when I do this. When I do this, I touch upon something that is infinite, time after time after time after time. When I forgive, and say this a lot nowadays, when I practice true forgiveness as presented by A Course in Miracles, I am as awakened and as enlightened as I'm ever going to be. So if I could live a life of forgiveness and infinite kindness, just by practicing being kind and forgiving, and it brings me immense happiness now, this moment, the only moment that we have, it brings me immense happiness now, then why would I worry about God if he exists or if she doesn't exist? Why would I even worry about that? I have no concept of God that I believe in. However, I very often, through the course of my days, have the experience of God's presence. Hey, great man. Tiger King says, Manifesto, how's the day going, mate? He says, Tiger, it's okay. Thank you. And you? So, Evan, these are really good questions, my friend. I always appreciate you. Even when you go tell me to smoke stuff and go to festivals. Tiger King says, Eric, if no one's actually seen God, why did he always say he? Then why do you never say she? I do say she sometimes. I have a book in which I say she several times. And my mom was very proud of that book. First book I ever wrote. It's called Does God Have a Hero? It's available on Amazon. Hey, Coco. Um, and I mentioned she several times, and she took it to the Catholic school that she taught at and that I went to, and said, "Could you carry my son's book in the library?" And they said, "Sure, we'd love to. It has God in the title." And then they read it and said, "Nope, we can't, because he says God's a she. Sometimes God's neither he nor she." This is a duality that our friend Francis came in asking about. God is not a he, God is not a she. But it seems impersonal. To say it just doesn't seem right. So for me, I relate more to the feminine aspect of the godhood than I do the masculine. Although I have a very close relationship with Jesus and with Krishna. Hey, Coastal Blue, my friend, how are you? Pam says it's the isness of it, not proven right or wrong. Amen. Kyle says God is actually pretty weak according to the Bible. Yep. So I don't base my experience of God on anything but my experience of God. Manifesto says God is they, them, other. I loved how Rumi said he, she, they, them. These are not terms used in the Garden of Mystics. Not so good. What's going on, Tiger King? What's up? It says, where's Adam? I don't see him here. Is he okay? I haven't seen Adam today. He was hanging out with us yesterday. He even sang a bit of a song. He put on lipstick for Tiger King. Tiger King, if you're not doing so good, go back and watch that clip of Adam putting on lipstick. Guys, these are actually some of my favorite live streams. I do enjoy the singing. It's a lot of fun. It's relaxing. But just being able to talk about the things that are important to us, whatever they might be from time to time, uh, it's one of the real reasons I started my channel. I love the guests, and I love being able to share them, but spending time with you guys, it's everything. I'll try to make it short, Tiger King. I need to remember. I probably make it private and send it to you because right now I'm trying to stay. I confuse the algorithms with some changes to my channel. Um, and I'm trying to court the algorithm in order to. Um, I feel bad when I have a great guest, and uh, I always hope that there's going to be a lot of people. Doesn't need to be a lot of people though. You know, I appreciate you guys being here. Pam says, "I'm so glad you're here, Yogi." Thank you, Pam. Pam, thank you. So we do have to end the live stream in a minute, though. I'm going to bed. Hey guys, our friend Shelly, goals are for you. Is she's live? Joshua's live. So when I go to bed, there is plenty of people to hang out with if you guys want to continue the party. Um, Burpee Reaper is live getting the reps in. I'm going to visit him right before I click off for the night. It's an old friend. I'll probably pop in and say hi to Joshua too. Um, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Tiger King says, "Can you set up a give me page so we can give you funds so you can take your cat to the vets, please?" Now's not the best time. Hey, Sue. Mustafa says we don't know what will happen tomorrow or the day after. We don't know who will be with us today. We won't be tomorrow. That's why we must make the most of our time together. We are family. Yes. Thank you for that. I mentioned that quite a bit. The difference between a community and a family. Community, you can be excommunicated from, and you can excommunicate people from. You can kick people out of it, and you can get kicked out of it. Why did I try to be fancy? See you, Francis. Francis, thanks for your great comments, my friend. Eric, let's see which one. I got one here I can never really show off without getting into some actual yoga. I don't think you can see it. That is Pan, the Greek god of wild places and fertility. Anyway, and over here, this is Sanskrit. Um, family. So a community, you have to abide by community standards, the community rules. You got to read the newsletters. You got to show up to community functions. You got to do community stuff, and you have to please the community, or you are reprimanded. You're given a warning. Someone writes you a sternly worded note. I don't like that stuff. I don't like being warned. I don't like someone giving me a sternly worded note. I like love notes. Tell me you love me. Give me a checklist. Do you like me? Yes or no. Do you love me? Yes or no. Um, but don't give me standards and rules that I'm gonna more than likely inadvertently, maybe on purpose, break. and then you got to kick me out. Family. We love our families. We put up with our families. We tolerate our families. And when people say, "Why do you put up with that?" we shrug and say, "It's family, man. I love my family. Don't always like what they do, but I love my family. I would never kick my family out of my life." That's the difference. So, yes, we're family. And I appreciate that. And I love you guys. Pam says, same here. Praise instead of criticize. Yeah. People say, well, don't you sometimes need to criticize? I'm like, not me. Someone else might feel that that's their role and they'll step up and do it. That's fine if that's what they feel they need to do. I don't have to do it. Trust. That's the theme. Might talk more about that tomorrow. Cece says, I trust freely, maybe too much. So, Coco, let's reframe that. Don't trust people. As we mentioned earlier, people will do people stuff. Don't trust them. I don't trust people. However, when you trust the source, and there is a great word for God, when you trust the source, now you know that all people are the source works through all people. It's not about trusting people. It's about trusting God. It's about trusting love. It's about trusting the source. Because then nothing can go wrong. When you're truly trusting, if we find that things do go wrong, it's because we placed our trust in people. We placed our trust in the world. Pam says it's hard for me to be in a mindset of not trusting. Sniper says I'm having to trust this side of the pond to her. In it together, Sniper. Francis says apparently it's only possible to have 150 friends. I don't know about that. You counting me as one of your friends, Francis? If you haven't been counting me as one of your friends, then right now officially you have 151 friends. All right, guys, I gotta wrap it up. I love everyone. I will be here 5 o'clock. Don't have any guys. Oh, Miss Flipper's coming up. She's gonna dive into the fishbowl. You hear that, Tiger King? Tiger King, because I got as I mentioned before, very very pressing issues at hand right now. I don't want to get into on the live stream. But speaking of trust, just trust me when I say that right now. Trust me when I say how much I appreciate your offer. That you talk to on a regular basis. Well, I will talk to you as often as you show up. All right. Simple says Eric has 9,259 friends. I like the thought of that. Thank you, Tiger King. I appreciate that. You are a good friend, and I appreciate you. Pam says, Yogi, thank you for your wisdom and rest well. Thank you, chat family. Take care. Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Love you as a Eric. Love you too, Tiger King. Thanks, guys.